Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we have a change of setting. I'm on vacation and I just realized before taking the plane that I had never filmed this wrap-up video. So today is the day that we're filming it. I'm very late for this. I'm sorry. I haven't been the best at staying on time. My plan initially was to film and post a video every week, and right now I'm doing this every 2 weeks. I'm currently changing from CapCut to another editing software because CapCut is having so much problems. So right now I'm adjusting to everything, but I promise that I'm trying to go back to this one video per week. In September, this is gonna be my goal. Now, let's talk about this July wrap-up because I read a lot of books and a lot of good books. So I have a lot of things to tell you. As usual, at the beginning of the month of July, I picked 6 books with my TBR jar. I'm so happy to say that I read them all. Round of applause. This is the first time that I do it. Maybe the last? No, probably not. But I'm not even sure that I'm gonna read the 6 books that I picked this month. So I'm very happy to say that I read those 6 books, and I read even more than this because I even read a book that was from my previous TBRs. Without further ado, let's get to it. I'm gonna talk about each of those books, my thoughts and feelings about them, my ratings, everything spoiler free. I started the month with Rewind It Back. I was actually reading Caught Up and Play Along the month prior, so I just continued on because I wanted to read Rio's story so bad. And I have to say that this is, for now, the book that I least like in this whole series. It's not that it was bad. It was, I think I give it a 4 stars. Yeah. Ugh. Why didn't you tell me that my hair was like that? I have a sunburn here. I don't know if you can see it, but I can certainly feel it every time that I brush my hair. Is it better? I'm not even sure, but this will do. I was saying, Rewind It Back. If you don't know, this series is a sports romance series. Each of them follow a different athlete from a different sport, but they're in the same group of friends. This one is about a hockey player. It's a character that we see again and again from book 1 until this one, and I think I expected his book to be funnier, kind of like Isaiah's book. In terms of Rio is always so funny in the other books. We don't have a lot of humor in this one. This is second chance lover. This is second chance romance with a childhood to best friend lovers. What am I saying? So this is second chance childhood best friends to lovers. Something happened, we don't know what exactly, but they didn't talk for 5 years. If you know me, you know that this is my favorite tropes. I love second chance. I love best friends to lovers. It had the potential to be my favorite one in the whole series. I have read so many second chance romances, so many best friends to lovers stories, that this one did not stood out in any way to me. I think I would have preferred if the execution was done differently. When you have second chance romances, there is a lot of tension because those two people, they can't stand each other, but they still had a lot of feelings before. You get also to have in those stories usually the tension from when they fall in love for the first time, when they are younger, when you have teenage angst. That was absolutely lacking for me in past and present POVs. He sees her again and he's like, I want to be with her again. Like that. There is no tension in the present for them to be together again. It's just a question of when. And the past POVs were not very interesting as well because we get to see important moments to them, but we don't get to see them fall in love. We don't get to see them lusting over each other when they're younger. We don't feel this yearning and tension that you're supposed to feel when two teenagers fall in love. So it was cute. It was a good read. Nothing extraordinary for me, and it's actually the longest book in the whole series. On my Kobo, I think it was almost 900 pages. Those 900 pages were not used to their full potential. If you have to make a longer book, give us a better understanding of who they were and who they are now and how they still fit together today. You know, when it's been 5 years without seeing the person, I like it when they learn who the person is after those 5 years. Because people change a lot. But when they see each other and they're like, oh, I knew him my whole life, I don't need to learn this person again because I know who she is deep down, it's not enough for me. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now, but that's how I feel. Do I still recommend it? Absolutely, yes. I still recommend the series, but I haven't read Mile High, so I can't say for sure that this is my least favorite. Then I went into On Wings of Blood and The Bond That Burns. This one was on my previous TBRs. I haven't gotten to it yet. This is part of a trilogy, I think. The third one is not out yet. I'm pretty sure this is an indie published romantasy. So in this one you have this Fae from another world. She dies in her world, but then she gets to live again in this other world full of vampires. She's discovered by a prince who brings her back with him to his vampire court, and they get betrothed without really wanting to, because in this world she has the perfect body to be a dragon rider. The only problem is there is no dragon anymore. So this one is difficult because I liked it. That was very entertaining. I think it has a lot of potential, but it needs some editing. The first book has some moments that are very, very slow, and I just wanted, to flip the pages and go to the interesting stuff, which is something that I usually want to do when I'm not satisfied with what I'm reading right now. And then also there were a lot of jumps in the relationship, in the character arcs. They have this type of relationship, and then in the other chapter it changes very suddenly. And for me, this is a lack of editing again, a lack of continuity in the way the character changes and learn, as the story goes on. Little break for the hair, because what is this? I have a sunburn here. So this first book was very entertaining, had some slow moments. Then I went into the second one because it was still interesting enough for me to want to read the sequel. Again, very entertaining. I think it was better than the first book. Still some lack of editing, but I do really like how Blake changed and evolved in this book. I think it's done a bit suddenly again, and also they have a big change in their relationship in this one. Again, I was like, oh, so this is it? Those books are very fun to read, very entertaining. If you're looking for a new romantasy that's gonna absolutely change your life, it's probably not it. If you're looking for a romantasy that is nothing especially new, but is still very much entertaining and with dragons and fae and vampires, this may be the book for you. Then I went into Darkbirch Academy. This one, the author sent me a copy for me to read it and review it. But I have to say that I already wanted to read this book before she contacted me, so I was so happy when she did. And I absolutely ate that book up. I loved it. I read it in one day. I think it's not a big one. I don't remember exactly. I think it's between 200 and 300 pages. We have our FMC. She is a dark witch. So in this world you have dark witches and light witches, and she is a dark witch using dark magic. So at the beginning of the book, she realizes that the enemy, so the light witches, have developed a weapon that could kill a whole side of magic. So she decides to infiltrate the light side to know exactly what is happening, what is this weapon, how she can actually kill this weapon. So everything is set up very quickly. She infiltrates this academy very fast, and from there I don't want to say too much, because for me what really worked was the fact that I did not read the blurb at all before getting into it. From the very beginning I was like, oh, this is what's gonna happen, and it was not the case, and I really liked that. I adored the MMC in this one. There is a scene when they fight on the bed that was so sexy. So this is a mix of spy infiltration but with witchy gadgets and witchy magic, morally black characters, a great tension and angst between the FMC and the MMC, a slow burn that you don't get to see burn in this first one, which I really like, and just a fun story. It's this author's first book, if I'm not mistaken, so there is room to improve in terms of the emotions that are being conveyed in this book, but I had so much fun. I was riveted to my ebook the whole way through. I am definitely gonna read the sequel of this one. I don't know if this is YA or adult, but I'm pretty sure this is adult, because I realized talking with one of you that I was not always saying if it was YA or adult, and this is very important because obviously there are very difficult subjects in adults one. So I'm gonna try to get better at saying when it's YA or when it's not, so you don't get to be traumatized when I recommend the book to you. So next I read Servant of Earth. This one I liked a lot. This is the first book in a new series that is called The Shards of Magic. I gave this one a 4.75 stars. Actually, when I read it, I was like, ooh, this is 5 stars. But thinking about it now, I am not absolutely obsessed about it yet, but this is the first book in the series. This has the potential to become a favorite. Our main female character is human. In her village there is a kind of ceremony where 3 humans are chosen by the Fae, and if they can get through the bog, they will get into the Fae world and be treated like princesses. Our main female character has her best friend chosen in this ceremony, so she decides to help her get through the bog. In doing so, she gets into the Fae world, which is absolutely nothing like they imagine, and she gets enslaved. To survive, she has to participate to those trials with her mistress, and if they fail those trials, her and her mistress could die. I'm doing a very bad job explaining this one. The main thing to remember is a human that is thrown into a Fae world. She has to participate to trials with her mistress that is a Fae girl. The trials are very interesting, and what I really liked was the fact that our FMC is very cunning. She's human, she's weak in some ways, but she is very smart and resourceful. The Fae are very wicked and mean, very much like some people said The Cruel Prince. I did not read that yet, so I can't say if that's the truth, but the Fever series by Karen Mary Mooning, this is the same principle of different shapes and races of Fae. Some of them are very hideous, a lot of cruelty and a lot of games. So if that's something that you like, you'll have a lot of this in this one. Also, there are different love interests. This is actually a fantasy romance more than a romantasy. It's more centered on the fantasy side, and then you have crumbs of romance. But I actually really like the fantasy side. It's very complex, very well executed, and the romance I think could get to be something very interesting as well. It was a very solid first book. I really liked it, and I'm dying to read the next one. Then I went into Blood and Betrayals by Alexi Runes and Janet Rose. I have a lot of things to say about this one. This is a mix of Zodiac Academy, but make it more gothic. Dark Academia, definitely adult, very spicy, very long book. And if you like Zodiac Academy, you may like this, but again, you may not. When I read the reviews on Goodreads, you have either people who have DNF'd it or people who have loved it. You will probably end up in one of those two categories. This is a crazy long book, more than 1,000 pages long, so you really have to hang on. I knew I had to hang on because I trust the taste of the people that have recommended it to me. But the first 200 pages, I was like, how is this important? I really felt like I was just following the characters, living their life, and the characters are very flawed, very imperfect, very messy. So it was at some point very frustrating. It follows a Fae who gets enrolled without doing anything in this school. She doesn't know why, but she intends to go in this school and to learn everything she can. There she meets an angel and a vampire, and she was very solitary before getting those friends, and suddenly you have this found family that creates around her. But the problem is that she has a stalker who follows her there, and then very weird and creepy stuff start happening. You have a lot of different set of characters, a found family that is amazing in this one. I really like the mystery. Not everything was predictable in this. I think the ending I did predict, and I was like, please don't make it true. But then a lot of stuff I didn't see coming. I really liked the way this book ended. I think it's what really brought up the book for me, because at first I was like, this is just okay. But then at the end, I was so invested in the characters that I absolutely loved it. And I think this is why this book is so long. It's for you to really care about what's happening throughout the book, and then especially at the end. The ending of this one is truly diabolical. The last sentence, I read it and I was like, this can't be it. And then I turned the page and it was just the end. I'm very curious to see where this is going. You have to like really messy stuff to like this one, because those characters are messy, especially our main female character. She's very annoying at some points. She is not my favorite yet, but I do wish for her to get better, and I'm very fine with reading imperfect characters that have room to grow. So this one I gave 4.25 stars. Again, not a perfect book, but it was very, very entertaining. I had a great time, and for a book that was this long, I did not take that much time to read it, so that says a lot. I am absolutely dying to read the sequel. Then I read One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I love this one so damn much. It is actually the first 5 stars that I give to a Carly Fortune book ever since Every Summer After. Every Summer After is an absolute favorite of mine. You have some kind of love triangle that happened in this first one. One of the brothers is actually very sad and unsatisfied at the end of this first book, and we get to see Charlie's redemption arc and happy ending in this one, One Golden Summer. So this one is a contemporary romance. Our main female character is the photographer that feels kind of lost in her life, professionally speaking, so she decides to take a break and go with her grandmother to a lake that she used to go to when she was younger. This lake is where Charlie is living with his brother and his fiancée, Sam and Percy, the one that we meet in Every Summer After. I don't even know how to describe it. It is just a feel-good story with two people that are actually broken and have trust issues, find friendship and then love in each other. This is sweet, this is sexy, this is funny, and I really love how you really feel like you're at the lake. This is a perfect summer romance for me, and it was the perfect story for Charlie. I love the banter, I love those two characters and the way they fit with each other, and I love Charlie. He was so funny, so cocky, but at the same time very vulnerable and insecure. You follow him from when he's a teenager in Every Summer After to what he becomes in this one, and it is just pure joy to see him finally fall in love with the right person for him. I absolutely recommend it, especially in the summer, but even if it's not summer, go read this book. Then I went into Empire of Flame and Thorns. I was so damn surprised about this one. Listen, there is absolutely nothing special or new and shiny about this. This is an adult romantasy with trials, dragon shifters, and enemies to lovers. This is a lot of things that we have already read before, but when I compare Bloodwing Academy to this is far, far better. The execution in this is flawless. The trials are riveting. Our FMC is very cunning. She has emotion magic, so she can influence the emotions of people. I love the way this is described. She is participating to those trials in order to help the resistance, because her people have been enslaved by the dragon shifters for decades. The FMC is a dragon shifter who's trying to make her lose every trial one after the other, and the tension is so good. The banter is amazing. I love the character arc that we have for Selena, our FMC. I read it in one day. Is it predictable? Yes. But is it good? Absolutely. I was giggling. I love the tension. I love the angst. I love the trials. And I was so into it. I abandoned my TBR and I read the sequel in one day as well. I love this second one too. I gave book 1 and 2 4.75 stars. This was near perfection. Maybe if it was a little bit less predictable, I would have given it 5 stars. The yearning and the pining that you have in book 2, I love this one. And I also read the third one. I did not read after that because it wasn't out yet, but I would have, because the third one finishes on a cliffhanger that is absolutely diabolical. I gave 4 stars to the fourth one just because it was not as good as the other two, not emotional enough to me, not enough centered on the romance, and there were trials again, so it was kind of repetitive, but I do absolutely recommend this series. If you're searching for a new series, indie published, that is almost finished, with good enemies to lovers and trials, and If a bit predictable is not bothering you as long as it's well executed, this is definitely for you. I recommend it from the bottom of my heart. This is so fun. I had a great time reading this, and I'm definitely gonna read the sequel, and I think it will be the last book in this series. I don't know when it's gonna be released though. So that was the 10 books that I actually read. I said I read my whole TBR, and that's true. I did start the first book in the House of Devil series at the very end of July, but I did not finish it. That's why it's not in this wrap-up. But just know this is underway, and you're gonna be hearing about it in the next wrap-up. I had a great time. Honestly, I was on such a good roll of reads during the month of July. It's gonna be hard to top it. I was absolutely unstoppable, and I hope it's gonna be the same thing for the next months to come. I hope you maybe found in this list new books to read, new books to add to your TBR. Most of all, I hope you're having a great summer, a great reading month. If you watch this video from beginning to end, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Every new follower means the world to me. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.